What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? Your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming is back again with another Midday Monologue. All right, so it's been a few days since I posted one of these, and I have been thinking of Gen Con. Actually, in my case, I'm thinking of Gen Can't, to be quite honest. I got plans for next year, but this year is off the hook for Gen Con 50. They sold out of all their 4-day passes, first time in 50 years that they've actually done that. So that's really cool. It's showing the popularity and the level that Gen Con and RPGs and tabletop board games have really achieved, that they're selling out a huge space that they have. Next year they may have to move somewhere bigger, or who knows. I'm not sure what they're doing. It's just off the top of my head speculation there. But I have been thinking of Gen Con. And even though I can't make it, there are still going to be a ton of people, many of you watching this, who are actually going to be there. Or if you're watching this then, you're there now. Okay, so now the reason I'm thinking about this is I'm thinking about the same reason that all of you are thinking about, and that's games. Games. All right. Now, there are some games that have been highly anticipated that either just dropped now or will be dropping in the next couple of weeks and will be at Gen Con. And these are games that I think that if you're going to be at Gen Con, even if you're not going to be at Gen Con, these are the games that you should definitely look up and look into. First one I want to mention by Gamelin. Gamelin has taken me by surprise. I've already gotten 2 of their games. They've blown me away. Love it. Love the system. Scott Alms, thank you for creating this system. These, these rules, putting these big, huge, themed games into these little tiny pocket games that can play out in an hour, maybe less. If you're really good at it and you're not looking anything up and you just boom, you can just power right through this if you want. Now they have a whole bunch of different ones. I currently own 2 of them. And that is Tiny Epic Western and Tiny Epic Kingdoms. But there's another one just dropped. A few people have already gotten their Kickstarter of it. I'm waiting for mine. Should be here in a couple of days. And that is Tiny Epic Quests. This is another fantasy-based game that they've done. This one includes something different that none of the other games by them so far have had, and that's called Item Meeples. Item Meeples. One word. And these are your standard, regular-looking meeples. I believe they are plastic, and they have a couple of holes right where their hands are. They have a couple of little tiny holes, and you can take items. You could take little swords or shields or potions or books, and you could pop them right in there so it looks like the meeple is actually holding something. So if you have a sword and a shield, boom, your meeple now has a sword and a shield. How cool is that? But that's not the only thing that makes it cool. I mean, these games are, like I said, they are huge for how small that they are. Very, very popular. It's a lot of games. I'm a fan of this, so I'm happy. A lot of games right now, and this included, contain modular boards. I love modular boards because it's always going to change things up. You're not going to be following the same pattern that you did the last time you played the game. My only problem with these modular tile-based boards is that most of them, they don't clip together, and that can be really annoying. And so since none of the other Gamelin games have done that, I'm assuming this one won't. But that's not that big of a deal. It's not something that's going to make me go to the game, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Now this game does have aspects of press your luck in it, along with the grid movement. And I've said this before whenever the subject comes up, and I'll say it again. I know not everyone out there, not every board gamer out there enjoys this phrase, but it is sandbox or sandbox-y. So there are multiple different ways that you can go around to win this game. Multiple different paths, so to speak, that you can take. So if you're going to be at Gen Con, or even if you're at Gen Can't, look it up yourself, go online, check it out, and that is called Tiny Epic Quest by Gamelin. Trust me, you are not going to be disappointed. If you like any of these other Tiny Epic games, you will not be disappointed in Tiny Epic Quest. So check that out. Another one that I am eagerly awaiting the pre-order for, and hopefully should be here soon enough, is, let me move this. All right, is Betrayal at Boulders Keep. I'm going to center myself a little bit. How am I going to? Woo! That's good enough. I'm not going to spend all time trying to figure out how to center this right. That's good enough. Nice little angle. So yes, Betrayal at Boulders Gate. I almost said keep. Betrayal at Boulders Gate by Avalon Hill. Now, this is a game that many of you actually know because Betrayal at the House on the Hill is such a huge game, has a great following. I myself count myself as part of that. Game's never the same way twice. What I love about this system, which is being carried over to the Baldur's Gate, the D&D version of it, is that it's a cooperative game up until a point. There's always something. The mechanism is called a haunt that will be triggered at some point in the game, at least in the base game, in the core game, the original game. That's why it's called a haunt. I don't know if they're going to call it the same thing in Baldur's Gate, but it's called a haunt. It's an incident that happens, and when this incident happens, somebody is revealed as the traitor. So during the whole game, you don't know you're a traitor. So you're trying to be cooperative and helpful and work as a team, and then this one action will happen, and it'll determine who the betrayer is. And then the betrayer leaves the room, reads his betrayer book, while the rest of the gang hangs out and reads their survivor's book. So this way the betrayer knows what their plot is, what they need to accomplish to win, and vice versa for the heroes. So this is hugely popular, and to cross it over with Dungeons & Dragons, I think, is a brilliant idea, and this game is already pre-sold huge amounts. This game is already a hit and hasn't hit the market yet. So if you want to check it out, it's going to be coming with 50 scenarios, just like the regular Betrayal game did. So there's going to be at least 50 different versions of the game that you're going to be able to play. And much like the other one had an expansion, I'm sure this is going to have an expansion at some point too. Look for that maybe next year, if this is as big as I'm guessing that it's going to be. Another game, Sword and Sorcery by Ares Games. This game is a tile-based game. It's a cooperative game, and the concept behind it is that you are some of the greatest heroes that have ever lived in the land, and you're dead, and evil is overtaking everything. So instead of finding new heroes, what do? They raise the dead. They raise these ancient heroes to protect the land. And that's where you, the player, comes in. You are one of these ancient heroes that have been revived, resuscitated, resurrected, so that you can defend the land and stand strong once again. Now, this is a cooperative game. It is a mission-based game. It's a tile game. It's a miniatures game. I usually don't like to do game comparisons because I don't always think that that's fair. Pardon me, but since this isn't an actual review, I'll go ahead and say it. Picture Descent. Picture the second edition Descent. It's similar to that because it's a dungeon crawl. Now, one of the differences is that your characters can be good, evil, or neutral. In fact, the ranger that comes with the party is only neutral. There's two different neutral versions of him. Now, the reason I bring that up is because depending on whether you are playing the same character, good, neutral, or evil, will depend on what your character's special abilities are. And it will also affect the plot, the campaign of the game. So the game is an evolving campaign where your decisions and just your attitude actually makes a difference to what's going on. It's a leveling game, so you're going to be leveling up campaign style. You'll be able to come back to the game time and time again and use the same characters and make them better and make them better and make them better. This game, I already have it on pre-order. I'm waiting for it, desperately waiting for it to get here to me. As soon as it does, don't worry, there's going to be an unboxing of it. Oh, same thing with the Tiny Epic Quest, by the way, too. I'm waiting for a copy of that. Should be here in a couple of days, actually. So I'll be showing that off once I get that as well. I also wanted to point out a game I mentioned a couple of videos back, but it's appropriate for this one since we're doing Gen Con / Gen Cans. And if you're going to be there, you are definitely going to want to check out Big Trouble in Little China, the game. This game is by Everything Epic. It is, I believe, 1 to 4. That's the note I have. It says 1 to 4 player game. It is a cooperative game. Cooperative game seems very big too. It seems like a lot more cooperative games over the last couple of years have been coming out, and that's good for me. I enjoy cooperative games. I like teamwork. So this game, Big Trouble in Little China. If you haven't seen the movie, you have to go on Netflix. Rent it, find it. A buddy of yours must have it on DVD, Blu-ray somewhere. Big Trouble in Little China, starring Kurt Russell, who you may have just seen in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Ego, the Living Planet. This guy is awesome. I love him. I could watch him in almost anything. And this is one of my 2 favorite movies of his of all time. Big Trouble in Little China. It has this high adventure feel and yet fantasy at the same time, although it's modern day. Well, modern day when the movie came out, so you're looking at the 80s. It's an 80s version of a fantasy film, really. But it's funny. It's exciting. It feels like a Marvel movie. It really does. It feels like a Marvel movie, the way they have the danger and the excitement and the laughter all sort of bound up together. A great movie. Check it out. Highly anticipating this game. I'm waiting for it. I got it on pre-order. I pre-ordered the deluxe version of it. And I already told everyone that's going to be playing with it that I got dibs on Egg Shen. Oh, yes. All right, so shake your demon bag and go out and check that game out, even if you're not planning on buying it, but you should. I think, in my opinion, if you're a fan of these kind of games or if you're just a fan of the movie, it's definitely worth having. So that's Big Trouble in Little China. Now, the last one I want to talk about, I know for a fact I've mentioned this recently, but again, it comes up now because of the Gen Con, and that is Greater Than Games Fate of the Elder Gods. Now, this is something else I have on pre-order. Actually, I did the Kickstarter for it, not the pre-order, and they've already shipped that out, and it looks like I should be getting that game. I don't know what that was. I should be getting that game Monday or Tuesday, so more hair. Where is this all coming from? Oh, it's coming from me. I'm a hairy guy. Anyway, so I should be getting it in a couple of days, and when I do, I'm definitely going to be throwing up the unboxing of it right away, and then after we play a game, I'll hopefully have my gamers give their 20-sided shots, and then after a few more games, I'll give the full two-gun review of it, but definitely check it out. Fate of the Elder Gods. Now, even though I'm not a big fan anymore of the Cthulhian games because I just got tired of it, check out another video of mine called Stop Cthulhiing My Games, because nobody ever gets it right, because the Lovecraftian stories are all about horror and dread, and there's no way that these board games are actually delivering that. It's to a certain degree, maybe some of them, like Elder Sign or Eldritch Horror comes pretty close to it, but they all fail. I mean, because the object is that you have to win. If you've ever read a Lovecraftian Cthulhu mythos tale, there's no winning. But the reason I'm excited about this game is you are not playing the hero. You, my friends, are playing the cultists. It is your job to make sure that your elder being, whether it's Yog-Sothoth or Cthulhu or any other ones whose names I can't pronounce and just end up butchering, you want your evil elder being to manifest. Everyone else, they're nuts. They are absolutely nuts. And you don't want to see them summoning their faux god instead of you summoning yours. So I think that's exciting because it's moving away from having to stop everything, and it's throwing you directly into you're the cause of it. So I have high hopes for this game that it may help and feel a little bit more Cthulian, but from the mirror side of it, so to speak, not the I'm gonna stop this evil because that's what we do. Oh no, I've lost my mind. The world is destroyed. So hopefully it'll definitely leave a better taste in my mouth and everyone else's mouth who's a fan of that. So if you're gonna be at Gen Con this year, stop by the booths for Gamelin, for Avalon Hill, for Ares Games, for Everything Epic and Greater Than Games, and you will not be disappointed. If you haven't kickstarted any of these games and you're interested in it, go check it out anyway. Master of the Boards is a site I recently found where you can actually get the Kickstarter version of games, so if you missed out, go check them out. And that's it. So good gaming, everyone. That's one particular note on Gen Con. I may be dropping another one by the end of the week or next week with more games for you to be on the lookout for. But until then, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.